Doctor.
I see we're like kind of twinning. We had a similar idea, only I didn't do the Vato button.
I have to because it'll like open up and show my breasts if I don't.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah.
I dig it. Those shirts are so much fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to fucking. So I have the ones that they're like this big, the faces, and I think I might put those on some fucking hoodies.
Hell yeah! Just wear them to work. Keep it zipped down all day.
Well.
Then I'm just, I gotta start growing my belly like all the other leads at work, so I zip down my cubbies and just like...
Let it hang out?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, so that when a manager comes around and is like, hey, you need to zip up your coveralls. Can't.
Yeah, look, it only goes to there.
Got that big old fucking gut sticking out. Unattractive. Anyway, you want to talk about Stephen Greer?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, on a scale of... Actually, let me back up just a skosh. So when we did Billy Carson, I felt like we were fairly nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't just shit talking, being saying fuck this guy, he's an idiot. But on David Icke, we totally did that. So on that scale, where would you put Stephen Greer?
I would put him somewhere in the middle, closer to Billy Carson, just because I think that he has a lot of information that seems valid, and he's putting information out on a website, so he is, putting the information that he has out there, but he's just such a fucking dislikable person.
I have to agree on the scale. Like, if Billy Carson is 10 and Ike is 1, I would put Stephen Greer around a 6. But it really is... I'm willing to bet when you're talking to him about something that's not, the UAP alien stuff, he's probably pretty decent to talk to.
Yeah.
But the way he comes off is just so matter-of-factly about everything, and he'll just talk and talk and talk. And then when people try to interject and ask other questions or, expound on something, he's just like, let me finish.
Yeah.
If you stop interrupting me, and it's just like...
At the same time, he'll interrupt. If somebody else is talking, he'll interrupt and take over. It's almost like he has to control the conversation so that it can't go anywhere except for where he wants to take it.
Yeah.
Which is... kind of puts up a red flag of is this bullshit? You just want to keep controlling the conversation so that I can't get around to a point that might argue what you're saying, or...
Yeah. I think, just for context, just real quick on his history, he was... he had some experiences with UFOs or UAPs as a child, and then again as a teenager. The guy is a trauma doctor, and you'll know because he mentions it all the time. Mm-hmm. I was a trauma doctor. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got it. So not unlike us, doctors. Only he's an MD.
Yeah, whereas we are just
we're a CS.
BSD.
We're a BSCS.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Conspiracy science.
PhD. That's a fucking the whole alphabet there.
We should start a coalition.
Yeah.
We could get a parade every year. The more letters and shit you throw into it,
we just start throwing out acronyms, dude. Bang, bang, bang.
Let's throw a division sign in there to make it really complicated. Like we're really smart. Like we can do long division.
My phone can.
Can you still do long division?
Dude, I have photo math for my kids' math because I don't remember jack shit from doing math in high school. It's like, math is what you're going to need. Basic math, yeah. But all this dumb science math.
Science, man.
Yeah, I don't know. So I just like take a picture of it, and then it like does all the work and shows you, explains how to do it. So they'll ask me, I don't understand this, and I'm like, I do. Click. You just have to blah 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 blah.
God, how did you not know that? Stupid.
Your teachers not have photo math? What are they, fucking dumb?
Let me plug this into AI. Look, so easy.
So easy. No, yeah, I mean, I watched a number of his, and I have, continuously kind of kept going with what he's putting out. A lot of it is the same, and that's another thing. I guess you kind of have to, when you go on these different platforms, give your backstory, and it's like, dude, just cut the first fucking half hour of your spiel you're gonna do, because everybody's already heard it before.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gives a fuck that you worked for Clinton, and
yeah, I read in all these presidents and all that, and I think if I was ever gonna sit down and do like an interview with him, I would ask him, go ahead and prepare all that stuff that you want to say on your history. We'll get that out of the way right away. You can just look at the camera and do that. I'm going to go into another room and do literally anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is important context for him that he read in different presidents and members of Congress on all this stuff. And he just loves throwing around that he's the guy who does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who went to Congress and did this and that and the other. But it's also kind of weird that with all the congressional hearings of the last couple of years, he's never invited to them, to be a speaker. Yeah.
And I watched one this morning that he was talking about that with another guy that's in a similar spot as he is, not as well known, but they were talking about how, especially in this most recent briefing that they had, or hearing that they had, that they called like 5 witnesses, and none of them were people who had a lot of information. And that's one of the things that he talks about, is that that's part of the agenda of keeping everything quiet still. They don't actually want people who have information to come up and give the information out yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds kind of legit, but I don't know, with people like Congresswoman Luna, who are actively trying to seek truth and seek, well, what they say is, they're actively trying to seek truth. You think that they would call the people who have the most information, or the most valid information. Maybe that's why they're not calling these people.
Yeah, because she's, I don't know if she's like the head or second in command of the Disclosure Task Force, but I know that Greer and Luna have had, interactions, and they've had conversations and things like that. But it is just weird to me that they don't bring him in on these congressional hearings. And I'm not trying to hate on David Grush, but a lot of his stuff is second or third hand tales.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you bringing up him if Stephen Greer has all this legit information?
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if like the swearing in aspect plays into it, because at a congressional hearing, it's like being in court. You swear to tell the truth, and it's basically perjury if you lie.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if that's part of it, or if they're just like, now we'll take your briefing in written form because we don't want to hear you talk for 3 hours straight.
Yeah. They don't want him to commandeer the whole fucking Congress.
Can you imagine some congressperson is like, ask him a question and you have, 3 minutes.
Hold on.
And he's talking for like 10 minutes and they try to cut it off. If you'll let me finish. Gosh.
No, yeah.
I was a trauma doctor.
So, yeah, I mean, so this one that I was watching this morning, there was 3 people on this podcast, and it was all, they were in their own homes doing it on their computers, obviously, because they had like thumbnail of the 3 people, and his was the big thumbnail, and then the other 2 were just little like miniature fucking Instead of them all being equal sizes, his was huge and they were like small. There was 3 people, and this was like an hour and a half. And I think the one guy maybe talked for 10 minutes of the thing, if you're breaking it down to who did what in sections. And the lady that was on the screen, I don't think she said more than 3 or 4 sentences, and the rest of the time it was him just talking about, and they would start talking and then he would like take over, and it was, I don't know, hard to watch. I mean, plus he's super monotone.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of like inflection in the way he speaks,
And he looks like a zombie or something.
he looks like
He looks like the Day of the Dead cover. You know, that zombie that's on Dawn, or maybe it's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's I mean, granted the guy's like 70, but I don't know. He kind of looks like he has to go around his neighborhood and hand out specific cards.
Yeah.
Like there may be a little red pin over his house on a map kind of thing. That's a joke.
Just letting people know that I have been touched by aliens.
He's like, I did have sex with an alien one time. He was a Mexican, not an extraterrestrial.
An alien of the illegal variety.
Yeah. I wonder what his take on that sort of thing is, like ice and everything with that.
Yeah,
Because
I think if he had a take, he probably would have said it by now.
Because he's probably actually a very like open-minded, very nice person in real life. But for the sake of this joke, I could see him being like, you know, when he talks about aliens as these benevolent creatures and such. But he's like, get off my lawn, you dirty beaner. You know. For the sake of the joke.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Yeah, I think he's just... my number one problem with him isn't the way he talks to people or the way he conducts himself with these interviews. My number one problem with him is that he has to push other people's stuff down to prop his up.
Yeah.
And like his theory about what's happening at Skinwalker Ranch is all man-made events using steroids to do that. And I'm like, I don't buy that at all.
Yeah.
Or, you know, all these other people in this field, these are all bad actors.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff is good, but these guys are all bad actors.
Don't listen to them, listen to me. And that's just like in conversations that he has on these other podcasts that he the ghost just knocked on the door. He commandeers the conversation so that nobody can get any other point except for his across. Like,
Yeah.
let me crack this spilt open. Spilt, protein and caffeine.
Spilt. Go ahead and sponsor us, because we drink the shit out of this stuff.
Yeah. 20 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 1 carb. I mean, if you're doing keto, you want some protein.
How much caffeine is it?
60 milligrams.
Okay, so about a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, jokes aside, I drink these all the fucking time.
Yeah, and the cookies and cream flavored ones, absolutely fuck, dude.
Yeah, so I got 2 of those Starbucks double shot espressos. You know, they're like that big, probably between 4 or 6 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my blender bottle, and I put 2 of those in there with this same one. Holy shit, dude. You feel like energized and pumped up at the same time. And it tastes delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, when they first came out, I was like, dude, caffeinated milk? That sounds disgusting. But they're fucking delicious.
They only have like 3 or 4 flavors, and they're all bangers.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yep. I digress. Stephen Greer.
Stephen Greer. I bet he doesn't drink Spilt.
No. He probably does some kind of protein, but
Probably. Seems like he's in pretty decent
he's
shape
in pretty
for
good shape for a
70-year-old.
70-year-old. Except for his skin. But not all of us can age like fine wine.
I know. I mean, I'm 29 and I got all these city miles on me.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm 40.
I'm 63 and I look like a ripe 46.
I'm willing to bet when you're 60, you're still going to look like, 40.
We'll see in 10 years.
It's not 10 years.
30 years, okay.
But yeah, it is funny that you never see him doing like panel interviews where there's multiple people to talk to.
Yeah.
It's always like a one-on-one. Or if he is like that one that you were just talking about with the two other people, he is dominating that conversation because the other people are too passive.
Yeah.
Girls, quiet.
I know that he does have a lot of information. Like I've said, he claims to have testimony from like 270 different whistleblowers that he says will go on record and come out and testify with these things. And over a terabyte of documents stored. Now he has them on. I guess it's on that website that you sent me.
Oh, that double penetration
double
website?
penetration website. Yeah.
It's DPI Archive.
Yeah. DPI Archive, and when he sent it to me, I was like, DP Archive, ooh, tight, real tight.
Ooh. I'm going to have to look at this one in private later.
Now, speaking of DP, old Stitch is getting DP'd tomorrow. Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about that on here.
You can't start that and then say we can't talk about it. Like, Stitch is getting DP'd. This could make a great social media clip. Tell us.
He's just getting some medical stuff done.
Oh, getting the old...
Yeah.
Nice.
But he probably doesn't want all that out there in the ether. But
hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know he doesn't listen to the show, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. If he wants me to stop talking about him getting butt fingered, then he should start listening to the show.
Yeah. Fucking just listen to it. If you don't listen to it, you can't put out a fucking, what is it called, a no contact or a gag order on it.
A gag order. Yeah. Anyway, enough about Stitch's butt.
Yeah, the DPI archive, which has over a terabyte of information, documents that they've acquired through FOIAs, and they've spent the money to get all this information and government documents that talk about all these crazy UFO, UAP contact with non-human intelligences, and they even have. So the guy that he was talking to on the thing that I was watching this morning was videos of doing interviews with these Ebens or extraterrestrial aliens, and they're gone through the scrutiny of having professional people who look at videos to authenticate that they're not fake and they're not, and they're recorded on a what is it, 16 millimeter film.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to fake that shit.
Yeah.
And they were recorded in the 80s or 70s or 80s. So I don't, he's got some legit information.
Have you been on that DPI archive?
I have not. That's another thing that I thought was, I don't know, kind of suspect about the whole thing, was that to go onto the website you have to put in your information, like email and name, and create a profile and log in, and which it's like, okay, most websites that are doing that is like data mining.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get information out to people, whoever wants it, then why do you want to collect data on people?
Yeah, again, I think that kind of goes back to the hubris of, I have, 2 million subscribers onto this website.
Yeah.
But it really does need to come down to, I just want to get this information out for free. So I'm going to put it on a website that doesn't require a login. I'll put it out on fucking Reddit. I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, as much as he's a proponent of if you invent this world-changing technology, don't put a patent on it. Just put it out on a blockchain for everybody to have. But it's like, you're not even doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of the trepidation that I've had. I do want to get in there and look at some information, so I'll probably do it. But did you go into it?
Yeah, I haven't browsed around on it a ton, but I did look through some of it. It is fairly well organized as far as websites go. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you want to just go look at video, you can just look at video, or photos, testimonials, whatever. So I do appreciate that. I haven't deep dived into it yet, but I will.
Yeah, there's a lot of, he's been out there for a while. He's been doing this research officially for a long time. He's created organizations that's what they do is collect information on UAP, stories and testimonies and experiencers and whistleblowers. That's what his organization does. SETI, I think it's called, CSETI.
Yeah, it's not the original SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It's modified from that.
Yeah.
Which is, you don't want to get trademarked on that.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement.
So yeah, I mean, he has some theories that I do agree with that and he talks a lot about how his understanding of how the alien technology is used. He believes that there is a cabal, a multinational cabal of almost like a black government that controls all the information and technology that they've developed unbeknownst to the mainstream government and the official state heads of these countries, but that they control the technology and the information that gets out to the public just because they can use it for power, power structure. But he talks about how they developed from back engineering these crafts and having contact with NHIs, that they developed 0-point energy or gravity drives back in the 60s, and they've been using that technology ever since then. And that 95% of the UAPs that are experienced or seen, or that people talk about seeing in the sky, is actually man-made or replicas, which I thought was interesting. I do think that that's probably accurate.
I think so too, especially with the revelation of Ross Coulthart coming out and saying, I know a guy who told me that the Tic Tac UFO is owned by Lockheed Martin because it was manufactured by them.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it, but the one that Fravor chased, which was just fortuitous timing because they were testing a new radar system, and they're trying to see if they can outmaneuver the best Navy pilots.
Yeah.
We're talking the top echelon of fighter pilots in the U.S. against this new radar system. Let's just see what our thing can do, Mm-hmm. But him coming out, and I think Ross Coulthart is 100% credible in everything.
Yeah.
Because he's an investigative journalist, and he's vehement on finding the truth, not look how cool I am.
Right.
He's like, I'm already on TV. I don't care. I want the truth. So him saying that in conjunction with what Greer was saying, that most of these things are man-made, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Or even, what was it, early 2023, I think it was, there was like 3, 4, 5 objects shot down across the globe.
Yeah.
Like 1 in Russia, 1 in China, and 3 in the US/Canada.
You talking about the weather balloons?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weather balloons. Did you see that video of the one that got shot down?
No.
It's really interesting, and you see like the fighter pilot fires their Hellfire missile at this object, and the object kind of turns right before it gets hit, but it almost looks like it hits a shield. If you really slow it down and look at it like an invisible shield.
Are you talking about that one where it splits into different pieces?
No, that's a
Okay.
different one.
Yeah.
That's also fucking bananas.
Yeah.
And then it's like it splits in pieces and then comes back together.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man-made technology like that is crazy to wrap your mind around.
Yeah. But that's what he claims is that he says that their technology that they have is probably 1,000 years ahead of what is in the public domain.
Oh, easily.
So, he talks about the NHIs, or non-human intelligences technologies, that it's not a propulsion system as much as it is a mass converter, pretty much, so that you can change the density of the mass, or the density of an object so much that you just
I just want to
decrease it.
point out the lights just turned on in the closet. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in like 3 weeks.
Maybe it came with me from my house.
Could have been.
Yeah.
You do have all that weird lighting shit going on downstairs.
I think that was, I think, so it was an LED bulb that was doing it, and I guess I looked it up, and when those LED bulbs start to go out, they do that, and it goes in a pattern so that it tells you what's wrong with the lighting.
Yeah.
So the pattern was just saying that the bulb was dying. It was like 3 blinks and then 1, 2, 3. 3 blinks and then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It was like a Morse code for "help me please."
Switch
SOS.
me
SMO.
But it is weird when it happens, because I had the one right here in the hallway go out too, but it was just like a and it's freaky because it's like a horror movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, really, it's just this bulb is going out.
It's funny when you see like horror movies and people get scared in the movies. And like when it happens to me, I'm like bricked up about it. Like, let's go see what's going on.
Nothing like a ghost
Yeah.
gets turned on. Yeah. Oh God, what's happening? And then there's us.
Yeah, Kara sent me a picture last night, our last night shift. She's like, check out this pattern. It was of our ceiling fan above our bed, and there's dust on the ceiling fan panel thing, blade, and it almost looks like demonic Pope face. But it's like, I'll have to show you. Where's my phone at? Oh shit. But the face is like, and I was like, yeah, the spirit was just fucking watching us fuck, and was like, oh yeah.
It's like, look at those moves.
Yeah. But I sent that to her, and she's like, great, our kids just saw that. Why the fuck are their kids looking at your phone? Show the camera that. See if they can get the.
It really is.
Yeah. Woo!
It's got the wrong whole face.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess there's
He's got the Stitch face.
yeah, an evil Pope has been watching what we're doing in the bedroom, horrified
Or impressed.
or impressed, just like, oh shit,
The cream is rising to the top.
But yeah, Stephen Greer.
So, do you agree with his theory about there being a government cabal, like a deep black, deep state?
Yeah, I do. I think that there's definitely entities that work inside the government, especially through special or government contractors like Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works, and that have these technologies that they have developed. I mean, they've been developing these things since the 40s.
Yeah.
And they even say that even the internet was actually invented and being in use since like 1959, 1960. And they've been using it to communicate amongst themselves for decades before it even came out publicly.
I 100% believe that. And I believe in the deep state, the super black government, whatever you want to call them, whatever cool sounding name. How about Onyx? Onyx government. That's a cool one. Coined it, you heard it here first. I do believe that, but I also believe it's a very fascist system, because corporations have to have a huge hand in that. I mean, you think about if we have the ability to have electrogravitic vehicles, who does that hurt if we have them? Well, it hurts the oil companies, it hurts automotive companies, things like that. Or if we have terabytes that can power individual homes and businesses and manufacturing and things like that, it hurts the electric company, it hurts natural gas, it hurts all of those industries. So we're talking trillions upon trillions of dollars of lost profit if we have these technologies that the government allegedly has. Mm-hmm. But I also look at it from the perspective of the government we have that we know is retarded. Yeah. Right? There's no way that, and I'm going to throw a stone here, that like the Trump administration is capable of what's happening behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. There's no way the Biden administration could do it. There's no way Congress and the Senate of the last 60 years could do these things and keep them hidden. They can't even agree on logical things. Yeah. Right?
Well, that's what he even talks about, that is that in the beginning of the programs, they were officials from the government that were kind of read into these things. But as it started progressing, they realized that with them being in the public domain of the government, that it could be a case of the public demanding information about it, and so it went private sector. And so all these people that, as they were retiring from the government, they would quit the government and then go to work for these Lockheed, Skunk Works, private contractors, so that you could keep the information private but still get the funding from the government, the official government, so you could keep all these secrets without being against the law or against which keeping a secret like that away from the president, I guess, is against the law.
Yeah, so there's been several presidents from JFK, Trump, Obama, Clinton, what's the other one, the guy from the 80s?
Reagan?
Not Reagan, the other one, Carter. All these presidents have tried to access this information and they just get cock-blocked on it. Yeah. Which to me is fucking bonkers. Yeah. You're talking about the foremost leader of our country can't get information within the government that he is in control of, that he is the commander-in-chief of. Yeah. To me, that's just crazy. Yeah. But to your point, it makes perfect sense within the legal system where the government has, let's say like the Roswell crash, which is totally an alien, or, an NHI.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fucking balloon. You're never going to convince me of that. But they retrieved this, this flying saucer, as they call it, and instead of the government keeping it because you are subject to classifications and things like that, and later on FOIAs, where we could request documentation on that sort of thing, they kind of have to give it to you. But if you give it to a company like Lockheed and their Skunk Works division, they could put a patent on it, and a patent is locked. Nobody else can look at it besides the patent holder and the people in charge of the patents.
Right.
So now it's under lock and key, but Lockheed now gets all these contracts from the government as kind of a sweetheart deal of like, okay, we'll reverse engineer this, but we want you to buy our planes.
Yeah.
We want you to pay for our stuff.
Yeah.
And not go over to McDonnell Douglas or whomever and buy their shit. You have to buy from us.
Yeah. And even the people that for the most part work for these companies, not Lockheed, Skunk Works, Northrop, all these major players, I don't think they have a clue of what it is, and they just compartmentalize all the things. Like they order certain parts from here, certain parts from there.
Yeah.
Have these guys develop this, these guys develop this. They don't know what it is. They're making parts, and then they buy these parts to assemble it in whatever way that they know how to do, at different locations or black sites that are these DUMBs, probably deep underground military bases that are so secretive that nobody knows where they are.
You mean like in Dulce? Sedona?
Fucking right out here.
Dugway. Area 52, as they call it.
I guess it would it would have to be Area 50 or 60 something, because Area 51 is just a sector of the base there.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 51, 52, I think it goes from 51 to 57 there.
Yeah.
So there's different sectors that are subdivided. There's all these different buildings and shit on Area 51 property. So Bonneville, it's referred to as Area 52 just because it's like
It's a cultural nickname.
Yeah, secondary place of this shit was taken to.
Even though there's a ton of other ones.
Yeah.
Even some alleged to be underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Or under the Denver airport, that sort of thing. So yeah, it is just a cultural thing. But I agree with you. I think that in conjunction with a lot of these big players, like Lockheed or EG&G or whomever, they work hand in hand with the government, because the government employs people to come in and reverse engineer, but they're so compartmentalized. Like Bob Lazar's story.
Yeah.
Like you weren't allowed to talk to these other people, but you were only tasked to look at this one aspect of it.
Right.
But this guy over here, he's looking at the bodywork, and this guy's looking at the propulsion, and this guy's looking at power source. But they're doing this and then sharing information with these companies to be able to reverse engineer all this shit.
Yeah.
And that's where I really do applaud Stephen Greer's merit on finding this information and really pushing this agenda of disclosure.
Yeah.
I think for all of his misgivings and his attitude and the way he approaches conversation and things like that, and his ego, I think deep down he is doing really great things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was kind of talking about in the beginning, was like, I do think he has a lot of valid information, and he's just such a dislikable guy. Comes across as dislikable on podcasts and stuff. That's what I'll say.
I agree with that. I would love to have a sit-down conversation with him. No cameras, no mics. Just talk to me as a person kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think his intentions are pure. And there's the part that I will say, for his ego, is one, he has done a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing it for 40 years, 35, 40 years or whatever.
And he's really smart.
He's a very smart guy. but he does treat, the NHI thing with like reverence of, these are intelligent creatures and consciousness is important, blah, blah, blah. I think the part of it, of him being kind of an asshole that I will defend, is like, you've been screaming this shit from the mountaintops for decades and nobody's listening. So I kind of understand why you become a bitter old man about it, because you want this to come out. You want humanity to be better, but everybody seems to kind of be in opposition of you.
Yeah.
So there's a part of that I do get.
Yeah, and the information that he's putting out is a little bit different than the mainstream narrative, especially in pop culture, where so he's talked about this on a few different podcasts or interviews that he's done, where the narrative that has been put out in the mainstream is one that drives fear about aliens and non-human and even just multi-dimensional stuff in the past. It's kind of changing now, but it's been one driven of fear, so that people so that they can keep up their war profiteering on, we have to develop these things, we have to fund these things, we have to build these weapons, so that they can keep the money rolling in to fund their projects that they're working on, in saying that we need the money to build up our armament to defend against these things.
Yeah.
I mean, but he says, it doesn't really matter what we do, because they're so far advanced. These things are so far advanced that if they really wanted to harm us, they could just come in and just make our planet disappear, pretty much, wipe it off of the face of the universe.
Cosmos.
Yeah. But that's what he says, that it's the technology that they have is such that they're able to diminish the mass and density of their craft and their whatever it is they travel through themselves. So it's like you're decreasing the mass and density of this can right here so much that it just disappears out of existence in this dimension and reappears in somewhere else.
Yeah. I have to disagree with his sensibility that, like, the current narrative around UAPs is that they're dangerous and we need to develop weapons and things like that. I don't pick up on that vibe. I get it through like the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s, where pretty much any movie that had to deal with aliens was like a scary horror movie, or...
Except for Mac and Me, dude. Oh, yeah.
I can't believe you just went there.
Yeah.
Actually,
the fucking dad alien looks like Travis in his suit. Like.
You ain't wrong. Yeah, I think for those like 3 decades, that was it. Because you think about movies like War of the Worlds, Independence Day, Arrival, even the Travis Walton story Fire in the Sky, when they made the movie, it's nothing like his story. And it shows these aliens as being like these terrible creatures that torture you and do tests on you and shit. Like, the media pushed that agenda. I do think that's government driven. But the agenda now is, you kind of look at like Lou Elizondo as the government figurehead of that, and where he's saying they exist, they're real. We don't know where they're from or how they do what they do and things like that, and we need to actually study it. Mm-hmm. It's nothing negative or malevolent in any way. It's just, we don't have enough information.
Yeah.
Do I think he's totally truthful? No. But I do think he is correct about, we need to actually study these things.
Yeah. And I do understand the trepidation of fearing the unknown and not going into something, researching something that you have no idea about and you don't know the capabilities of what could go wrong. So understanding the possibility of what could go wrong in doing some of these things, I understand there being a healthy level of fear going into these, doing the research of, say, like when they first detonated the first nuclear bomb, they didn't know if it was going to rip a hole in space-time and just pretty much collapse into a black hole.
Yeah.
Or turning on CERN when they're, colliding these particles at a subatomic level, that they were concerned at the same time about creating a black hole, and that black hole just eating up everything in our...
Well, they actually found out it does create black holes. They're just incredibly small.
Right.
And then they collapse onto themselves. Mm-hmm. So that trepidation is real. It's kind of like if we had a time machine right now, I would insist we not use it because of all of the fallout that could come from that, because we don't have enough understanding.
Yeah, haven't you ever seen Back to the Future Part 2? You haven't seen it, huh?
I have not watched any of those movies all the way through. I do remember like the hoverboard thing. That was cool, like the 3D Jaws thing, all that. Like, I remember that scene, but that's all I remember about that movie.
Yeah. So in that movie, he goes back, or he goes to the future, and then buys
the sports almanac.
The sports almanac.
That's right.
And then goes back, and then all of a sudden everything changes. He goes back to his timeline, and then everything's changed because they got this sports almanac that they were using to make bets.
Yeah.
And changed the course of history for him, or changed the course of future for him.
Yeah, basically creating a branch timeline.
Right.
Have you ever seen the Family Guy joke about Back to the Future 2?
No.
So Doc Brown comes over to pick up Marty and his girlfriend, and you know the scene where they're in the car and he starts flying away, and he's like, "It's about your kids, Marty." And he's like, What's happening with our kids in the future?" And he's like, "Your daughter marries a black man." I'm okay with that. Oh, you are? Okay, I'll just take you back then. It's pretty fucked up. But that's Family Guy. It's funny.
Yeah.
One other thing that Stephen Greer does that I do actually appreciate is the CE5. The, light, sound, consciousness. It's a triangle of those three things. But basically they come in and invite UAPs in, and I've delved into it a little bit. It's actually really good, like meditative exercises and things like that. So I genuinely enjoy that. But again, his kind of hubris is injected into it, like, my way is the right way, everybody else's way is wrong.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I do like the documentaries he's done, especially The Lost Century. That was such a good documentary.
Yeah.
Even though 90% of it is him standing on a stage talking, the information he's presenting is not his normal, like, matter-of-fact way. It's kind of like, and this man made this, and this is what happened, and then he died mysteriously.
Yeah.
You know? But this is the technology. Imagine what that technology could do for us.
Yeah, he is a lot more compelling as put in through that lens of, like, a presentation, instead of being on a podcast and ranting for fucking half an hour straight.
Maybe that's just what needs to happen with him, is just give him the open forum with no resistance, right? Just free flow your shit out there, and you could talk as long as you want for this amount of time, and you can say whatever you want. Maybe field questions, but have them written, because he doesn't like to listen to anybody talk ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go see it.
Yeah. Yeah, the CE5 stuff is really along the lines of what Chris Bledsoe does, pretty much, meditating and reaching out to contact this non-human intelligences. And according to them, they do get a lot of good results. with calling in UAPs, and even with the Project Skywatcher stuff, or the Skywatcher stuff, that what's his name? The
Jake Barber,
and those guys are doing with the dog whistle, and being able to use these psionic assets that use these CE5 technologies that are system of psychically linking to, or just opening up the bandwidth to call these non-human intelligence or alien crafts in, and then using the dog whistle pretty much to down the craft, and then they have a retrieval team that goes and gets them.
Which I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, you're purposely inviting these craft in so you can down them and then collect them. This shouldn't be fishing, right? Who's in that craft? What's in that craft?
Yeah.
There's a life form in there? Okay, so you just like put that life form in danger for technology? I don't like the idea of purposely downing the craft.
Yeah.
If you want to call them in and have an experience, that's one thing, but to steal their shit is another.
Yeah.
So
it's like catfishing a fucking alien from another dimension. Hey, guess what I got? This.
Stop! Like, no. How many of ours have you probed? It's your turn.
True.
Yeah, so banging aliens. So, speaking of Jake Barber, I think about there's been several times where I can think of two off the top of my head, but times where Stephen Greer was like, I'm just going to release everything I have, and I'm going to put it out there, and it's going to potentially force the government's hand for disclosure. He said that a couple times, and then nothing.
Yeah.
And one of those times it was like, this Friday, pay attention, this Friday, I'm dropping everything, it's coming out. What we really got was, there was a Jake Barber interview, not even conducted with Stephen Greer, it was with somebody else. I think it was with Ross Coulthard, actually. And Stephen Greer dropped the first episode of his podcast.
Yeah. Stay tuned for my podcast.
It's you're talking about this vault with terabytes of information, but instead you give us a podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say I don't like it, because it's clearly filmed on a fucking phone using his like wired AirPods, and dude, you can afford a camera? I can afford a fucking camera.
Yeah.
With a real microphone.
Yeah.
Put some effort into it, some production value.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you got to edit it. You just talk for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, and that's I don't even know if it's on a phone. I think it's on he's recording it on his computer, like looking at his computer, recording it through the camera on his computer, just because the sound is like
atrocious.
Yeah, it's digital recording, and it's like compressed, and so it always like.
It definitely has some background muffle, like you're talking this far away kind of thing. And so it's like, man, I would give that podcast more credibility if it had some production value.
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect you to like set dress and everything like that, but how about some quality audio and video?
Right.
At least quality audio.
Just quality audio. Just get a camera. You can buy. I've seen them on Temu for fucking $150.
You can buy a USB mic for like $40 that has good audio.
Yeah.
Instead of using your wired headphones. Because it has like two
Especially the
holes
ones
for
that
sound.
came with your phone.
Yeah, it's like those came with the iPhone 12 that you're using to record it on. I joke about that, but I'm still using an iPhone 12, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think I got the equivalent Samsung S20.
Yeah, it's probably about the same time.
Yeah.
I do also give him credibility for bringing a lot of these people to the forefront, like Jake Barber, or in a way bringing Fravor to the front and things like that. Getting these people who have these stories and not only taking their story down as like a record, but getting these people in the hands of other people to get these stories right. Because I think about I think his name is Michael Herrera. He was a Marine.
Yeah.
You know that story.
Yeah.
But Michael Herrera comes out to Stephen Greer, who puts him in contact with Sean Ryan, and then Sean Ryan has him on the show. Mm-hmm. So I think things like that are also great. I don't like him just taking credit for all of it, though, because it's kind of like, it's like people who go help homeless people, but they record themselves doing it.
Yeah.
It feels very disingenuous to
right.
me. Like, you don't have to come out and be like, oh, I did this, and I did that, and my team did this, and my team did that. What about our fucking team, not just your team?
Or what about this person that had this experience, saw that we were dealing in this realm and came to me with information, and we're going to put it out.
Yeah.
We decided to put it out. Like, don't praise yourself for being the microphone.
Yeah, you can be the mouthpiece of an organization, but that doesn't mean you are all of the organization.
Right.
It's kind of like at work when a lead takes credit for everything that happens online. Like, no, the operators did that under your instruction.
Right.
You are one piece of the whole. That's all it is.
Yeah.
What do you think about his beef with Lou Elizondo?
Yeah, Lou Elizondo is one of those people that Stephen Greer calls as a kind of a fake agent, right?
A bad actor.
Or bad actor. I think it's dumb. I do see how Lou Elizondo and a lot of the people, even Grush, could be used as misinformation agents, even without them knowing, without their knowledge. You know, they're given, they're basically shown things or given information that they know that they're going to put out for the sake of driving a narrative, unbeknownst to the people who are actually putting the information out, like Lou Elizondo. So, you know, having beef with him, again, I think comes back to his ego thing, saying, you know, where he, don't listen to him, listen to me. I don't think that it's really justifiable that he has beef with Elizondo.
I don't think so either, and I've seen and heard enough between the two of them, not just in what narrative they push, but them talking about each other. And I've seen plenty of people ask Lou Elizondo, you know, like, do you have a problem with Stephen Greer and things like that? Oh, no, not at all. You know, I think what he's doing is great and blah, blah, blah. And people ask him, would you debate him? He's like, I don't think we have anything to really debate about. I would sit and talk to him. And then I was listening to that American Alchemy episode with Jesse, and he's asking Stephen Greer about it. He's like, I would debate him right now, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I got to get on a plane, but I can't. So, but yeah, we could set up a time and I'll debate him.
Yeah.
And I just think like that right there just shows the hubris and the ego of it, of why do you even need to debate? Why can't these two figureheads just work together? They want the same thing.
Yeah.
Just, you think, well, Stephen Greer thinks that Lou Elizondo is a bad actor and he's purposely putting out bad information. I don't think that's the case, right? I mean, it has happened, like the one time he showed like a picture of a UAP and it was debunked on the spot. Like, that's not a UAP thing. And then he had to backtrack and say, like, you know, I messed up. I was given this morning and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, that hurts your credibility. But if you were given that information and told it was legit and you present it, it's not really your fault.
Yeah.
It's the fault of the person who gave that to you knowing it's not true.
Right.
So if it happens by accident, it happens by accident. If you're purposely putting out bad information, yeah, it makes you a douchebag. But I don't think that's the case with Lou Elizondo.
Yeah.
But I don't think Stephen Greer's got enough like foresight to think about it that way. And in that episode, he even talks about people who put out wrong information unwittingly. Like, I can forgive that, just clear it up. It's like, okay, Lou Elizondo has done that. So I just don't see where the disconnect is. Like, these two people are very important within the realm of UAPs and disclosure and all these things. Why not just figure out a way to work together?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, they're two people working from different angles or different positions within the government, or their roles that they have played in the government, working for a common goal. But again, who's to say that people aren't feeding misinformation to the people who are willing to put information out in order to drive a narrative of whatever their whatever their gain may be.
I also, for my own edification, I have a problem with Stephen Greer calling other people bad actors when Rick fucking Doty is on your team.
Yeah.
That is the most untrustworthy person in all of UAP lore.
Yeah.
But you're going to take his word over Lou Elizondo. I can't buy into that.
And also, if you're going to call people out for spreading misinformation and being bad actors, but you have on record things that you've done that call into question your own integrity.
What are you talking about, the flares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse actually asked him about that on that episode of American Alchemy, and he's like, I would never do that. I don't have the resources for that. Whether he did it or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. Would I put it past him? No. But there's a lot of testimony to say that actually happened.
Yeah.
And for context, he was doing a CE5 thing, and he had secretly paid an airplane pilot to fly his plane over and drop flares out of the window so it looked like UAPs for the audience. But yeah, it just seems too questionable for me.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to that photo from Lou Elizondo saying this is UAP when it wasn't. The only difference is, one is like you were kind of used to put out false information. The other one is you put out false information yourself.
Yeah.
So,
especially in that thing where I'm pretty sure these people pay to go out and do the CE5 sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And so people are paying for something, you want to make sure that it goes well, so you just create something for them to look at, to give them an experience so that they can go back and tell everybody, this is real, you guys we should all do it, you should all do it. And so everybody, more people go pay for this
100%.
Experience.
It's just like when somebody owns an actual haunted location and hosts, like ghost hunts or ghost tours, they make some shit happen.
Yeah.
It's a showmanship thing. Like, you're selling a product, so you got to make sure that product works.
Right.
Because if I paid for, a CE5 thing and I went there and nothing happened, I would feel like I wasted my money.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't, you're going out there to learn this skill, and it's a skill, you have to build it. It's not going to just happen right away. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. They're like, I spent $250 to be here and to learn how to do this thing, and nothing happened. You'd feel like a waste.
Yeah.
So there's a part of it I get, but the part I wholeheartely disagree with is challenging anybody else's credibility when yours is already on the line.
Right. And that's where I kind of question that if it's a deflection tactic of his credibility getting questioned, and so he just like, no, this person is fake. No, this person's fake.
Yeah.
Deflection tactic that he started using just to throw people off the scent of what he was maybe manipulating himself.
And that comes back to what I was saying earlier about pushing other things down to prop yours up, like the Skinwalker Ranch thing. And to be honest, that bugs me more than anything else, because you are not going to convince me that's what's going on.
Yeah.
There's too much varied phenomena there for that to be the truth.
Yeah.
So, not buying that. And I personally, more so than watching Greer and Elizondo debate, I would love to see Greer sit down with Travis Taylor.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a big fan of Travis Taylor. I sing his praises all the time. because he's, like the rock star scientist. It's like, let's fucking make it punk rock.
Right.
But I would love to hear those two sit and talk about it, and I really want to hear Travis Taylor's response to the whole Terroid man-made thing. Because I think he'd be like, hold on now.
Yeah.
Let me put you in your place, bud.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fire a rocket at you.
No, that would be a very interesting... Yeah, I'd pay to watch that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But that again kind of comes down to... wraps back around to like his credibility and hubris, where of all of the things that Stephen Greer is wrapped up into, why is he not kind of part of that Skinwalker Ranch thing? Because you could categorize all this stuff. You've got UAPs, and then you have paranormal phenomenon, you have government conspiracy, and blah, blah, blah. But Skinwalker Ranch is kind of like one big all-encompassing thing because it has all that shit on this one ranch, which is why it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Stephen Greer try to be part of that in some way?
But yeah, especially the way that he talks about paranormal events. He doesn't believe in ghosts and spirits. He thinks that it's all interdimensional beings, which we're kind of on that talking about of like, are these ghosts or spirits just entities from a different realm that are, the veil gets thinned and we are given a glimpse of these things, or they're at the right frequency that we're able to pick it up. So that's what he talks about, and so I mean, we've even talked about on the show about wanting to do investigations like that on Skinwalker Ranch of a more paranormal style, talking about ghosts or these entities from different dimensions that come across into the frequencies that we can pick up.
Yeah.
So I don't see why he would be such a hater about it.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, there's been stories about UAPs over the basin for forever,
yeah.
Right? There's been, you watch the show and there's a UAP like once an episode, and it's legit,
yeah,
right? So why wouldn't you be more invested in finding out the truth about that? And I think that really just kind of comes down to the ego and writing it off with such a simple explanation that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, even the Native American rock art in the area there, which a lot of the stuff is similar to rock art around the world, but it's showing people on the ground and then things in the sky and then these other beings that are way bigger than the people that have horns or like have different characteristics of human anatomy, the 6 fingers or 3 fingers or different
Tridactyls.
Yeah, tridactyls that are depicted. If all the energy on Skinwalker Ranch is being manifested by technologies that humans have created, how come the rock art is depicting this stuff from 1,000 years ago?
Yeah. And even in that vein, wouldn't you be more interested in understanding some of the more like ancient alien stuff, Nazca lines or ley lines or Easter Island, the big statues, shit like that? Why wouldn't you be more interested in understanding the pyramids, things like that? I think he gets a little too focused in on the government conspiracy aspect of it when there's 1,000 details that go into this one big plot line. Maybe focus on some of those instead. Yeah. We know the government's fucked up. We know shit happens, and we know they're hiding a lot of it, and we know they should be held accountable for it. But if you don't have the power to do anything, move on to something you do have power over.
Just put the information out there that you have, let everybody else get eyes on it, and then you get it into the public domain that way, and then it becomes part of the cultural zeitgeist of knowledge. And then maybe it goes further from there where the government comes out and says, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we've talked about this before, where we have to, if disclosure is ever going to happen, we have to figure out like where we stand on forgiveness versus punishment to these people, because you can't just grant full amnesty and say, okay, we know all the awful shit you guys did, but now you're telling us the truth, everything's forgiven. You can't. But there's a lot of people that are in on this very big secret. There's a certain amount of amnesty that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're not going to get more whistleblowers. You're not going to get people who are part of this organization who are going to come out and be like, yeah, I was part of it. I did this, this, and this. And they did this, this, and this, and blah, 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 because they're not going to want to do it if they know they're just going to go to fucking prison or they're going to get their head chopped off.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be some amount of amnesty that we have to kind of collectively agree on.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are passing down the orders like, go kill these people because they know too much, or go murder this person's whole family, the awful shit that they've done to keep the secret, we can't let them off the hook.
Yeah.
But the people who are in charge of the fucking paperwork aspect of it, or scuttling information or whatever, the people who have committed nonviolent crimes, like, yeah, let's let them off the hook.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes down to understanding that sometimes, in certain circumstances, doing a bad thing for a good reason is justifiable.
I agree.
And other times, doing a bad thing just to keep the secrets, it's dumb. And people do need to be held accountable for it. But in keeping a secret that's going to maintain the level of security in the United States, in the government, in that keeps all Americans safe, that's kind of justifiable. But just killing some random guy that knows a little bit too much about something, he's going to look like a crackpot anyways.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Or even all the military personnel over the last, 50 years or whatever, that have had massive brain injuries due to encounters with these UAPs. There's like a doctor who's spearheading that whole thing of trying to get these military personnel compensation and proper medical care.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still looked at, like you said, like a crackpot. Like, oh, you saw an alien while you were on base, or you saw the ship while you were on base, and now you have an aneurysm?
Yeah.
Okay,
now
buddy.
You need extra money for your medicals? Come on.
Sure, bud. As much as I've heard about how the VA works recently, especially with Scott's thing and all that, it's like everybody's got a medical claim, and so they can get paid.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on it. I'd do the same thing if I was in the military. Like, oh, everything on me is broken. I need a lot of money every month.
Yeah.
I get it. But when you kind of put it through that lens, it would look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the base and I saw UAP and now I get headaches. You're going to look like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. The VA system, I think, is pretty broken. And it's,
extremely.
And it's sad.
It is.
My wife's grandpa has something, a herniated disc or something in his back he needs to get worked on, so he went to the VA. He was in the military, and so he's like 80 something. So he went to the VA to go say, hey, I need surgery on my back because I have this slip or herniated disc or whatever I need to have it operated on. And so they looked at it and said, yeah, it looks like it's a compression fracture in your back, but you also have a gallbladder, something infection in your gallbladder, so we can't do a surgery with that thing going on. But it was just, he was like, it seems like an excuse so they don't have to do the surgery, so I have to go get somebody else to look at it to get this thing cleared up so I can have so then they might grant me the surgery. Like,
yeah,
that's dumb. Just take care of them.
Yeah, I think that system is just too fucked up.
Yeah.
And it is repairable, but it needs more funding, it needs more personnel, and it needs the right personnel.
Yeah.
and I don't want to go too far into a tirade about it, but all the wasteful spending the government does on stupid shit, like, again, $20 million to Sesame Street for Iraq. Like, put that money into the system to take care of vets.
Yeah.
There should not be a single vet living on the street, homeless, or have fucking problems that can be tracked back to their time in the military. It just should not happen.
Right.
Fucking cocksuckers.
Which I can't imagine being in an active war zone as, you know, in the military and coming back without any kind of repercussions, whether it be physical or mental. I can't imagine. Like,
no.
Yeah.
And it's sad that the government will not take care of these people.
Right.
Use some of that super black money that, you know, the black government is getting by, you know, all the human trafficking and usage of ARVs to transport drugs and people that are being trafficked and weapons and every other, like, illegal thing they're into. Take some of that money.
Take some of that money.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, what is our $3 trillion a year or something like that?
It is a metric shit fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole secrecy thing with corporations, you know, not just like with Lockheed or AG&G or whatever, like, they are making money hand over fist predicated on technology that was given to them by the government. They should be able to kick some back. Or the oil and car industry that's not going to be collapsed basically overnight because they're hiding these technologies should give something back.
Yeah.
And because they got bailed out in 2008 and never paid that money back, I'm still salty about that. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Or the banks.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. It just feels like the whole fucking world is against normal people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, not wanting to collapse the total economy and send the world into a recession, and then it's like the Great Depression around the entire world being a justifiable cause to do these things, but there has to be payback for it. You can't just be like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Should be like, okay, cool, thanks. Now let us help again.
Yeah.
We're in a position that we can help, and that's just doesn't ever seem to happen, where these people make all their money back and then try to help.
No, it's about more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to the 5 families that run the world, you know, because they have all this money and power and influence, and what do they want? More of those same things.
Yeah.
They're not trying to do anything for the betterment of humanity, you know, and then you get this kind of like rogue rich guy like Elon Musk, who is trying to do things for the betterment of humanity, and he gets just like crucified for it. It's bananas to me. The system is so broken.
Yeah. I think that we should just own nothing and be happy about it, personally.
You know, I was kind of thinking about that. Like, I think our lives were better when we had less access. And I don't just mean social media or the internet, but when we had less altogether.
Yeah.
You know, you think about, like, in the 90s, you wanted to watch a movie, you go to Blockbuster, you rent the movie, you bring it home, you watch it, and you have to return it. And then you have the memory of watching that movie and the memory of sitting down with your family because that resource was finite. Like, we have this movie for one night, we're going to watch it 2 or 3 times or whatever.
Yeah.
And you had more enjoyment out of it versus now, because of streaming, you can watch basically any movie at basically any time, and then you end up looking at your phone anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, the value has gone way down in that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, there's movies on, like, Netflix and Hulu that, when they came out, I was like, oh, man, I want to go watch that. Never got around to doing it, and now they're on these streaming platforms, and I see them like, oh, shit, I want to watch that movie. Swipe. Next.
I mean, Ballerina, the movie Ballerina in the John Wick universe, it came out in the theaters, and we're going to go watch that. Never got around to it. It's on Stars now.
Yeah.
And I have Stars.
Yeah.
Still haven't watched it.
That's how 28 years later was, but it's kind of, I heard there was a fucking 10-minute scene or something with this fucking zombie running around with this huge cock, and I was like, I don't want my wife seeing that, dude.
That scene comes up. Babe, don't look.
Close your eyes. Wow, impressive.
Jesus. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, I watched
I didn't know a fucking zombie could get a black eye. It just came out on Hulu like maybe almost a month ago, and I still haven't watched. I keep on seeing it like, oh shit, I need to watch that. See what else is on here.
Oh, I need to watch that. Rick and Morty it is. I watched it. It stands to reason that 28 years later, all the zombies have no clothes on. Running through the forest and shit. It's going to get tattered and torn off. Mm-hmm. The problem is the alpha zombie and his fucking hammer just swinging around. Like, I hope they paid that actor really well. Yeah. Because he was probably very cold. I mean, you couldn't tell by looking.
Yeah. If that's him cold, holy shit.
The fear of running away from an alpha zombie with a giant dick is pretty high for me now.
Something I never knew I was afraid of.
Yeah, I mean,
fear unlocked.
Fear unlocked. When like the big zombie craze started when The Walking Dead came out, now there's zombie movies and shows everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody thought about that shit at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. New fear unlocked.
The movie itself is not. It's not that good in my book.
Sad.
It is. Anyway, Stephen Greer. So, I'm trying to think. Is there anything we didn't cover that's important? So we talked about CE5. Talked about his ego. Lou Elizondo. I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I think the important thing for him is his intentions are good. Mm-hmm. And so that counts a lot for me, but it's still hard to listen to him at times.
Yeah. Just leave some air in the room for other people to breathe a little bit.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
Just temper yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. I mean, kind of like when we were talking about Billy Carson, where his reputation is not damaged insofar that it's irreparable. You can do it. Same with Stephen Greer. But you got to just tone down that ego a bit.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a pseudo-celebrity. You're important in this field. Not as important as you think, but you are important. You just need to act accordingly.
Not important enough to get an invite to the fucking congressional hearings.
Or Phenomicon. Maybe they have invited him. I have no idea.
Maybe the money just wasn't there for him.
Or he's like, who else is going to be there? Skinwalker Ranch guys? No, fucking beneath me.
Fake news.
Fake news. It reminded me of thinking about Donald Trump and saying fake news. I was thinking about a conversation I was having with Scott the other day about if we were ever to hijack an alien reproduction vehicle, what would we do? I was like, well, first thing is we're going to fly to the dark side of the moon. I got to see what's back there.
Yeah.
But when we come back into Earth airspace, we're probably going to get chased down.
Yeah.
So my thought is the safest way to get out of that situation is to park on the White House lawn. Just fly it right down there, land on the lawn, and get out, because there's going to be cameras on you and shit, and they're going to be like, is that an alien? He looks like a normal dude. And then you're going to see like Trump out the window. Is that Dave-inci guy? Handsome guy, tremendous show, just saying. But yeah, that's
like walking out of it with like fucking Top Gun, like high fiving.
Yeah, dude.
I'd probably, if I did that, I'd probably just cruise around probing people, dude. Ooh.
I'd
probe.
Use like their cloaking technology, modify it to make me look like the alpha zombie with a giant dick, just to make it 10 times worse.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
If I had I cannot be trusted with an ARV. Cannot.
Yeah. Let's take that back. If there's any ARVs out there that want to give us a ride, we're not going to probe people. We're just joking. We'll watch you guys probe people.
Be like, ooh.
Hey. Nice.
That's a really big thermometer.
Yeah, that one's going in the DPI archive.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we solved it.
I think we did. I think I'm still going to watch Stephen Greer stuff. I'm still going to listen to it. I still really like his documentaries.
Yeah.
I really like that he puts them out for free.
Mm-hmm.
As evidenced by sometimes you can only watch them on Tubi or YouTube. But I do really like that aspect. I like what he's doing. I just have a hard time listening to him on podcasts.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with me. I'm very interested in the information that he puts out. Or just get like a mouthpiece, somebody else to put it out for you.
Yeah.
Somebody to go on these podcasts and who's a little bit more personable. Yeah, and can have an actual conversation with somebody without over talking them and cutting them off the whole time.
If you'd let me finish, keep cutting me off, Jesus. I know I've been talking for 27 minutes straight. God,
with the monotone voice, it's just, yeah, so I watched like 3 of them last night, and then I'd get like 10 minutes into it and just be like, oh, I'm supposed to be watching this, like, fuck, man.
Well, there's moments of droning where it's like, pretty sure you said this 3 times already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to space out.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on my CE5 while you keep talking.
I'm going to CE5 and try to connect to you to hurry the fuck up. Get to the point.
Say what the fuck you got to say. Before we finish up, I'm still very conflicted on the whole Godsmack thing.
Oh.
But that was still a very cool story for me, being such a huge fan of Sully Erna and finding out that he's neighbors with David Fravor, and that's how he got connected to Stephen Greer. So that was just like a cool personal tie-in for me.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, if Stephen Greer can be friends with Sully, so can I.
Was he like, you say he's like neighbors or something?
Yeah, Fravor and Sully Erna are neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
But Stephen Greer and Sully are friends.
Mm.
But yeah, that was kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
And it was just like and it was funny too, because I had just started kind of like disconnecting from that episode because he was being a dick towards Jesse, and that, don't do that, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And then that story popped up, and I was like, fuck, now I gotta finish this episode.
Did you watch that Tridactyl Mummies?
I got like 20 minutes into it, which 10 minutes of that is like a weird cut of the whole episode.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be that long.
It was like a compressed ad for the episode that
like,
you're about to watch.
I feel like I don't even have to watch it now.
Yeah.
I just watched it.
Yeah. I'm already compelled, dude. Just fucking start it.
I watched the TikTok version of it. I got everything. Yeah, interesting shit.
Yeah. So if you guys are confused or compelled to what we're talking about, we're probably going to do an episode on those Tridactyl West Siders.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, this is the shocker, this is the showstopper, this is the soccer.
If you're doing this, holy... That's some sourdough shit.
That's awful.
The clapper.
You're just stretching out that membrane in between there. I'm sure it's on the hub somewhere.
DPI archives.
Without the I, just DP archive.
The old DP archives.
Yeah, that's hot.
I'm sure that's on Reddit.
Oh, everything's on fucking Reddit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's close up shop on this one. I'm glad we talked about Stephen Greer. It does go into the David Icke, Billy Carson kind of realm of things. And if we're going to beat up on those guys, we got to beat up on everybody else too.
Yeah, I mean, we've alluded to Stephen Greer in many episodes, and finally got a fucking deep dive on him. So
Yeah, I mean, usually it's just a passing shitty comment about him. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to expound on that and say I don't hate the guy, but this is the problem I have with him.
right.
But he does good things.
Yeah, and even just noting that if we're bringing him up in all these different episodes where we're talking about UAP and alien subjects, and he pops up in those. I mean, he's definitely in that vein. So
It's true.
he definitely gets our attention. So
Still listening to him.
still listening to him.
Anyway, Doctor.
Doctor.
I still don't like David Icke.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye. Bye.